welcome to la chaîne Géopolitique. Today we will analyze the decision of the International Criminal Court, which declared jurisdiction about any investigation on the Palestinian territories. So we will study the legal and geopolitical impact of such landmark decision. So on Friday, surprisingly, unexpectedly, the ICC, the International Criminal Court, which has been established with the Rome Treaty signed in 1998 and which entered into force on 1st of July 2002, ruled that it had jurisdiction over the Palestinian territories for any alleged crime committed on those territories, which includes Gaza, West Bank, and East Jerusalem. And so what happened, it's in December 2019, the procurer, Fatou Bensouda, decided just to, before launching an official investigation on any alleged war crime, decided to raise a question, a preliminary question to the, let's say, to the judges of the International Criminal Court, whether she's entitled to lead any investigation that occurred on those Palestinian territories. I mean, there is let's to be perfectly clear, there is a legal question due to the fact that, let's say, Palestine do not have all the constitutive elements of a statehood. I mean, it does have a government through the Palestinian Authority in West Bank. It does, and in Gaza as well. It does have a territory in Gaza and in West Bank. But the problem is the third element of a constitutive element of a statehood is borders. Currently, Palestine do not have, let's say, international borders with its neighbor. We know that it's still in negotiations, and it has not been settled with Israel. And so the fact that it does not have recognized borders does not mean that Palestine do not have all those elements of a statehood. So that's why Fatou Bensouda, the prosecutor of the ICC, raised this question before launching any possible investigation. And the judges of the ICC ruled on Friday that that the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has a jurisdiction over the Palestinian territories. So right now, it means that Fatou Bensouda is now allowed to launch any investigation related to any war crime committed on those Palestinian territories. So it means to be clear that it can concern not only the Israeli army, but also any Palestinian armed group who committed any war crimes. So 3 investigations will be opened by the prosecutor Bensouda. The first one will concern, let's say, the 2014 Gaza war, also called Protection Shielded, which has resulted in the deaths of 2,200 Palestinians, including 1,500 civilians and 73 Israeli, among them 67 soldiers. So she will see whether any war crimes has been committed by Israeli army and possibly by any Palestinian armed forces, armed group, let's say. And the second investigation will concern the Freedom March, which started in March 2018 till March 2019, which resulted in the death of 300 demonstrators. Every Friday, if you remember, demonstrators came close to the Israeli borders, and some of them were killed, because they, let's say, they entered into the buffer zone inside the Gazan territory. And so Fatou Bensouda would like to know whether some lethal or non-lethal weapons have been used during those demonstrations. and so she will lead an investigation on it, on this specific freedom march. A third component of the investigation will concern, let's say, the settlements, and she will clearly pursue, she said, Israeli authorities who committed war crimes, due to the fact that the settlement process involves, let's say, the transfer of population to a foreign territory, or it is clearly a war crime according to the fourth convention of Geneva on the civilian person in time of war. It's how it's called, this fourth convention of Geneva. And actually, there has been a ruling of the International Court of Justice, ICJ this time, which said that the fourth convention of Geneva is applicable on the Palestinian occupied territory. So we see that there will be three investigations on possibly war crimes. Those investigations will concern the Gazan territory, the West Bank territory, and the East Jerusalem territory. So besides that the legal part of the investigation, you have to understand that there is political consequences of it, because what you have to keep in mind is, like, the ICC, the International Criminal Court, is entitled to let's say, to prosecute any individuals who are allegedly involved in any war crimes or crimes against humanity, or possibly even against any genocide, which has been committed after 1st of July 2002, which is the date of the entry into force of the Rome Treaty, which set up this institution of the International Criminal Court. So any individual or any leader who will be prosecuted, so will need to be arrested by any party of this treaty. Currently, 123 countries are part of this Rome Statute. So those 123 countries will have the obligation to arrest, for example, any possible person who the International Court of Justice would like to hear it. So, just to give you an example, in 2009, the former Israeli Foreign Minister Tzipi Livni planned to travel to the United Kingdom, but she canceled her trip when she learned that the British court wanted to hear her about any alleged war crimes during the Gaza war, which occurred in December 2008 and January 2009. So you see, she would have been arrested if she would have landed in the territory of the United Kingdom, but she learned that, and she so decided to cancel her trip. So you can imagine how nervous, how worried are currently the Israeli leaders when they learn that the International Criminal Court has jurisdiction over the Palestinian territory for any alleged war crime committed by the Israeli army. So it means, according to the landmark newspaper, the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, this newspaper has compiled a list that, accordingly to this, let's say, newspaper, 200 to 300 Israeli officials could be potentially arrested over the next week or next month, due to the fact that the International Criminal Court would like to hear them. So it could concern people like the current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, or even Benny Gantz, who is currently the Vice Prime Minister, but who has been the Israeli Army Chief during the 2014 Gaza war, which will be the first investigation of the International Court of Justice. criminal court. But you have any other potential people among those 200, like the current foreign minister, Gabi Ashkenazi, who is the successor in the Israel of Benny Gantz as the Israeli army chief, who could be potentially arrested. And that's why we learned also from Haaretz that Gabi Ashkenazi, the current foreign minister, now spend days not to settle the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but to talk with his counterparts about any potential arrest abroad of Israeli officials. And we know that he talked with his Russian counterparts, Mr. Lavrov, with his German counterpart, Mr. Mas, with his American counterparts, Mr. Blinken. And because they really want that any, let's say, diplomatical incident could occur with the arrest of any Israeli official, and they try, let's say, to activate to activate any support, any diplomatical support that they may have abroad. But we know that Israel has a certain number of allies in the world, but they don't have only allies in the world. And the problem is some countries could decided really to comply with their obligation to arrest any Israeli officials. And so it will be very interesting to see from a geopolitical point of view how it can have any impact, any change, any amendment to the Israeli conflict, because it can, let's say, redraw, let's say, the international ties that may have Israel with the rest of the world. It can, let's say, have major diplomatic ties. Let's remember when the Belgium wanted to arrest Ariel Sharon, the former Israeli prime minister, due to alleged war crimes in Shati Fatila in 1985. And so the universal jurisdiction that is allowed according to Belgian law to arrest any officials that committed war crimes, even though it has been made, it happened outside of the Belgian territory, created big tension, if you remember, Belgium, between the Kingdom of Belgium and Israel. And we could now have such a situation not only between Belgium and Israel, but between Israel, basically, and the 123 countries who are part of this Statute of Rome, and could potentially arrest the Israeli leaders. Let's see what could happen over the next week, whether any arrest warrant will be issued against any Israeli officials.